Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. I am the Reverend Christine Dance. My pronouns are she and her, and I am honored to serve as the minister of this congregation. Welcome to our service. In this sacred space, we celebrate our humanity, our diversity, and the boundless love that unites us all. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, this wild and bizarre time, one that is theologically diverse, radically inclusive, and justice-centered. Our doors swing wide to embrace all who seek a welcoming place. May our worship today be a source of inspiration, a comfort in challenging times, and a call to action. If you are new here, a hearty welcome to you. I saw a bunch of new folks. Can we wave if we are new? Wow. Welcome. We encourage you to come back several times as our services are different each week. Our music director, Benji Messer, is homesick today. So let's all send some love to Benji. And we have, with very little notice, our amazing Carolyn Allenby and Igor Glenn have stepped in. We are so grateful for both their amazing talent, and I'm going today call it their spirit of adventure for jumping in so quickly and gracefully. Today's service is about welcoming all ages, so we're opening with a hymn of welcome. Please rise in body or spirit.
Thank you for remaining standing for our chalice lighting. I'm Blake Rushing. I'm your worship associate today, and my pronouns are she and her. Join me as we recite our covenant, and Julie lights our chalice. If you're watching remotely and have a chalice with you, please light it with us. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship. Thus do we covenant. Before you sit down, please wave to our folks on Zoom and take a moment to turn around and smile at your neighbors. It's so good to see you. Oh my gosh, it's such a wonderful. Thank you all. You may be seated.
Is anyone else having the feeling this week of, oh my gosh, how did it get to be January? Yeah? Okay, it happens every year. I don't know why it's a surprise. There is a lot going on in the congregation, and welcome to January. Here are a few announcements. From our civic engagement team, tables will be set up in the back of the sanctuary today for you to write postcards to your federal and state leaders. We're telling them that we'd like clean air, water, and land. We have postcards, stamps, and address labels. And we are getting ready for auction season. I would like to invite up Joan Gale for an important announcement about the auction. Whoop, whoop.
Good morning. And not only are we in January, but now we're going to talk about February. So, I am Joan Gale, and I'm a volunteer with the Hearts and Harmony, your dinner auction committee. And we would like to invite you and your family and friends to celebrate at UUCP for the annual dinner auction event on Valentine's Day. So that's going to be Saturday, February 14th. The doors will open at 5 o'clock and will include a dinner with tablecloths, candles, and live musicians to help set the mood. Our wonderful Rachel Godding, who is our kitchen god, is what I call her. She's wonderful. She's going to prepare an extraordinary a special tasty feast for the entire family. So the recommendation is $10 per plate, and that would be appreciated very much. So don't fight the crowds in a noisy restaurant, pay too much, and it's couples only usually. You know, that's just too much. So come to UUCP, enjoy a relaxed, fun evening with your friends here, and there will be a silent and a live auction in addition to the dinner. You can now access the Hearts of Harmony webpage at the UUCP website and pre-register and also make donations for both the live and the silent auction. Are there any committee members here? Would you raise your hands? There's one over here. And a couple back there. So after, and there's one, good, thank you. So after the service today, go ahead and talk with them if you'd like more information. So get out your phones and look for February 14th and write down UUCP Hearts and Harmony.
Yay, thanks. And I would like to invite Glenn Lockwood of the Waddell Statues Committee to come up for an announcement as well.
Good morning, I'm Glenn. He, him pronouns. That which might have been 1963. That's the name of the statuary in our memorial garden. It memorializes the 4 girls who were killed when their church was bombed by the Klan in 1963. The artwork can evoke many emotions, and we were challenged by Reverend Christine in August to spend at least a year exploring our personal and congregational relationship to the artwork. Yesterday, those of you that received email from UUCP received an email giving you a little background on how we intend to engage the congregation in fulfilling the challenge, and then, excuse me, also inviting you to, I'll get there in a second, Christine's challenge and asking you to complete a brief survey stating your preferred dates and times for meeting to learn and listen to each other about the artwork. The email also has a link to a new page within the UUCP website that has information about the history of Birmingham, the Birmingham events, the history of the sculptures here, and the history of some of the controversies surrounding the artwork, including a recent challenging interpretation of the work while Reverend Christine was on sabbatical. Don't worry if you didn't get the email, or if you can't find it, the struggle is real. There are flyers in the back of the sanctuary with QR codes and web addresses. One will get you to an online survey so you can register your preferred dates and times for in-person or Zoom meetings. And then the other is, a link to the website that I mentioned. If you're browsing the website, you'll find the new page under Connect and Engage at the top tab of all of our website pages. As we get more specific about the topics for the conversations, that information will be encompassed as well as on our webpage. The sessions will be guided by specific questions facilitated by people who are trying to foster conversation and understanding among us. And it'll be formulated so that we might present a report to the congregation about what you all had to say, and in order to guide us on any decisions that we might make that might result from the discernment process. So please complete the brief survey and letting us know what your favorite times for meeting are, and please join us in learning and discerning in the coming months. Thank you.
So much goodness going on here. And now let us draw deeper into the present moment and into our worship. Take a breath with me, beloveds.
Our opening words are from Katie Romano Griffin. Come, let us enter this space of hope and community. Come, let us enter this space with our sorrows, our joys, our passion and compassion. Come, let us enter this space with the stories of our ancestors, for their strength and wisdom beats in our hearts. Come into this space, present to the beloved companions who move beside us. Come into this space, mindful that together we are building a future for other generations. Come into this space and let us worship. I now invite our children, youth, and any adults who would like to come together or forward for Together time.
Can we share? Can we sit next to each other? Because I have a helper. This is Bud. He's my helper today. And I might need some other helpers who are all different ages. Hi, Lily. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. So every week when we come here at UUCP, we are building something. We are building our world together. We are building our understanding together. And all of us are doing that, no matter what our age is, our race is, no matter what our experience is, no matter whether we've got no money or a lot of money, we're all helping build our understanding of the world. And I think there are some building blocks to that. So my friend Bud helped me make these blocks. And we've got a whole bunch of things that help us build our understanding. Here's one, it's justice. Justice. And kids, there are words and graphics on it, and Mr. Bud will show you all of those. So justice is one of the things, particularly at Unitarian Universalism, that we do. Yeah, let's build it on our, oh, you want to put it on the block? Wonderful. Oh, like that. There we go. You want to pick one? Yeah, what's that one? That one's love that we're building on there. Love looks different in so many different ways. Love can be really hard. It can be a noun, it can be a verb, but we are constantly working with love. What's the next one we want to put on there? Yes, thinking. Thinking, we're using our mind, we're critical thinkers, we're examining the world and what we believe as we're doing it. What's the next block we want to put on there? Music. We love that. Music helps target you. Do you want to build some blocks on there too? Sure, you can get some in there. This is exactly what I was hoping for. So music helps touch something that our thinking can't. It gives us something new. What's that one say? It says helping. Do you see the two hands helping each other? It says helping, and that's how we help each other. That's how we help others in our community. That's how we help the world be a better place. Addie, do you want to put that one on? Yeah, that one's called, you want to show everyone? That's stories. Stories of all kinds, from whether they are from religious books or whether they're our own experiences or whether they are fables and stories that help us see ourselves in different ways. Ooh, what have you got there? That one's called questions. We have a lot of those here. We have a whole bunch of questions, and we don't always have answers to them, but a lot of times asking the questions, we've got a hymn that say, sometime the question is the answer, and the questions help us. Oh, I love that we're ending on that one. Do you know what that one says? It says laughter. It says laughter, because we need laughter. We need to laugh at ourselves. We need to laugh with each other. And a world is sometimes really hard, and sometimes we need laughter. So what do we think of our tower? Is this a pretty good tower? Yeah. So which of these feel important to you all that I said? Which of those building blocks feel important? Anyone? Love. Questions. Which one feels important to you? Thinking, yeah. What about to any of you? Stories, yeah. Laughter, that was my favorite too. It is. And like a block tower, sometimes these fall over, right? And does anyone want to knock it over? You know you do. Yes. Sometimes it knocks over. And then sometimes we need to build it back up. And sometimes we build it up differently. Sometimes we build it the same way. And knocking it down can be fun, but building it up again can be fun as well. So some people bring some of parts of this. Some people are really good at the laughter. Some people are really good at the music. Some people are really good at the stories. But we all need each other to build this together, to build our faith, our community, and that we're doing it together at every age in all of the ways. Oh my gosh, so I actually like how it's being built up again better than I liked the first way. But it's okay if you liked the other way too. It's all right, your beliefs are all valid. Wonderful. We want to knock it down, or we want to keep it? Yep, knock it down. Go for it. There you go. Thank you all for helping me build the blocks. Thank you, Mr. Budd, for being my helper. I appreciate you all. That was fun. You can build it back up if you want.
Each month, our congregation selects a local organization that takes action on issues in alignment with our UUCP mission, and we share our offering each Sunday. This gives you an opportunity to learn about the organization, reflect on your level of interest and appreciation for what they are doing, and act to support them, either by donating to the offering in the service or online, or by finding out more about them. Perhaps to volunteer or consider another way of contributing to their work. It's an opportunity to learn, reflect, and act. Service is our prayer and one way of being centered in social justice. For January, our Share the Plate partner is Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest. Teams of UUCP volunteers have partnered with them in the last few years to support refugee resettlement. Jennifer Tatum from LSS is here today to share with you about their needs. Thank you, Jennifer.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me as your guest today. As I was introduced, my name is Jenny, and I've gotten the pleasure to work at Lutheran Social Services for the last 8 years as their Director of Volunteer Engagement. And Many of you at this congregation have actually helped as volunteers, and I'm proud to share with you today that this congregation actually has been the most consistent, what we call co-sponsor team, since I've been working there. You've had more family placements than any other church that we work with, so. So thanks to Jill, I see in the back there, and others who have been part of the teams. We're just really, really grateful for your help. For those of you who don't know what co-sponsorship it is, it's when community here in the Valley or in our Tucson office shares and walks alongside a family that may have come here to the U.S. after war, persecution, genocide of some kind, and is starting their life again, and walking alongside them to help them navigate this new life. At LSS, we do more than just refugee work. We also have aging and disability services, children and family services, as well as what we call Partners in Action, which is advocacy and fundraising and volunteerism. So we do a lot of things, but today I'm here just to share with you a little bit more about refugee work and how the federal changes in particular have changed our work right now. So if you're not aware, every October, the president determines how many refugees can arrive in the US. And traditionally, this number has been no lower than 60,000 people. In October, this number was set at 7,500 by President Trump. And so this is the lowest in our country's history since accepting refugees. And so that funding that resettlement agencies like ours gets is tied to the amount of people that we're resettling. Here in Phoenix this year, we're expecting, as an agency, we'll probably resettle between 10 to 75 refugees through our agency, and none in our Tucson office, unfortunately. These refugees will be supported by us, but we also have thousands of people that have arrived within the last few years that we will be helping. Typically, we help people up to 5 years after arrival. And so there's still lots of work to be done for the people that are already here, who have arrived in the last few years. The projects that we do have, I just wanted to share with you, are case management, what we also call intensive case management for particularly difficult or medically related cases. Case coordination, which is referrals to places when we don't offer the support that's needed, we'll help them find a partner agency. Employment services, refugee youth mentoring, school support for both refugee students and parents, women's empowerment, and health promotion. So there's still lots to be done in the work of current refugees that are here in our state. And we're also seeing with co-sponsor teams the changing needs around what refugees need help with. So as you can imagine, in the first year, they might have needed help with navigating their bus route or finding the grocery stores closest to their apartment. Now we're seeing two major needs, which is English and job searching. So if you have any interest in helping new Americans with those tasks, I would love to talk with you more about that. We also are looking for different types of funding. So the majority of refugee resettlement funding is typically federal. And with those cuts, we're looking for new state contracts and then individual foundations and individual donors to donate. And so we did secure several different state contracts, and one is with what we call refugee youth mentoring. And so we got that contract in August here in Phoenix, and so we're looking for refugee people in the community that want to mentor refugee youth, so people between the ages of 15 and 24. And if you would love to mentor and walk alongside a refugee teen, we would love to talk with you about that as well. So just for sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and close out, but I just want to share with you there's lots of needs as far as in-kind, if you'd prefer to donate physically instead of with dollars. Refugee families can always use things like hygiene supplies, grocery store gift cards, or cleaning supplies for their apartment. And I love to hear about the letter writing because we always have opportunities for advocacy. If you would like to talk with your representatives, if you're passionate about welcoming refugees to the state, there's an advocacy listserv for that, and we have opportunities for you to share your voice around advocacy for refugees, along with our other programs as well. So thank you for the support you've already shared with us, and we welcome you to keep engaging with us either as volunteers or donors, and thank you for what you've already done.
For all that you give, we are so grateful. Ushers, thank you for your willing hands in helping us pass the plate for our offering. Our Igor Glenn will be sharing his improvisational music with us.
You are a marvel. We recognize that our lives are interconnected. Part of our journey as a community is sharing our significant milestones, our joys and sorrows. If you are on Zoom, you can put a note in the chat. And if you want your joy or sorrow to be filled out next week, fill out a card before service at the small table in the back of the sanctuary. So we have a few of them. And I am laughing because there are 4 of them that are about me, including there was just little birthday cakes flying across the chat in the Zoom. There is an anonymous one that says, "Joy for Reverend Christine's birthday." My wife says, "Happy birthday." And what's really sweet is my sister, who was here last week, wrote one last week for the basket this week that says, "Joy of celebrating Reverend Christine's birthday," which she only calls me Kiki, so it's my birthday today. Thank you. Thank you. And speaking of birthdays, it is Bonnie Frazier says Ann Chase will celebrate her 80th birthday this Friday. So happy birthday, Ann, for you as well. We have a concern, Ruth and Walt Pincus, and I saw you right back there. They say, on our way back from California, we ran into a multi-car pileup north of Wickenburg. We were not hurt, but our RV is totaled. Aww. And I am so sorry, and I am so glad that you are okay. We also have another birthday in the chat. Donna Talbot is saying, "Joy for my 80th birthday." Happy birthday, Donna. Yes, thank you. And there was another birthday for me from Jessica Pineda, thank you. And I don't know, I did have a question on about Reverend Dr. Walt Weider's memorial service. The date has not been set. I promise we will let you know when that is set. And then the final one is, I don't know if you don't know me, you don't know that my wife Karen and I are the lesbians with lots of pets. In particular, we've had a rough few months after having to say goodbye to our dog Finnegan in October and then Fiona in December. And this weekend, our 14-month-old puppy had heart problems. Her heart's supposed to be beating around 100 to 120 beats per minute. She was at 25. So we had the choice of whether to euthanize her or give her a pacemaker. And I want to really, really acknowledge that it is a sign of extreme privilege that we can say, as of midnight last night, our puppy has a pacemaker. And she should have a totally normal life. And it's been a stressful weekend. So send love, send puppy love to all of those. May our joys and our sorrows, those named and those that are held in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, help us draw closer and care for one another. I invite you to a time of meditation and prayer. Take a moment to settle your body, take a few breaths, and be here in this present moment. In these tender and demanding days, when the world feels heavy and uncertain, we pause to remember a simple truth. We are not meant to do this alone. We need the wisdom of elders who have lived through storms before, and the courage of children who still believe that today can be kinder than today. We need the questions that stretch us, the laughter that loosens our fear, the tears that remind us we care, and the hands that reach out when we falter. In a culture that praises independence, let us name this gently and clearly. Needing one another is not weakness. It is sacred. It is sacred when we lean on one another's strengths. It is sacred when we admit we are tired. It is sacred when we listen across generations and discover that each voice carries a piece of the truth. May this community be a place where no one has to be whole on their own, where every age is honored, where every presence matters, and every contribution, small or steady, helps carry us forward. In these hard times, when leaders are acting illegally and force is cheered, may we remember that how we survive is by staying tender and connected. And may we leave this moment recommitted to the holy work of showing up for one another again and again. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. We're going to continue this meditation moment to sing to the world who we want to be, rather than this world that we are seeing around us. And I want to acknowledge that this world isn't always perfect either. Here at UUCP, we've had a lot of transition and challenge, especially in our children's programs. We've had to mourn as a wonderful children's ministry director left. We had several wonderful support people who were laid off, and we are in the process of hiring a new director. Some people have been upset. Some people have been challenged by noise. Some people have made others upset. So maybe we can use this sung prayer for the new year by Rob Eller Isaacs. Let us embody the spirit of tenderness, community, forgiveness, and grace. I'll read the narration and you all can sing with Carolyn. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time we have struck out in anger without just cause.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time that greed has blinded us to the needs of others.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For losing sight of our unity.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
And for those and so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
One of my favorite aspects of this space is the intergenerational relationships I get to have here. I love that my conversations and connections can include so many new perspectives for me because of all the human experience in one room. I see a great deal of value in the perspectives of individuals different from my own. I'm a curious person by nature, and I acknowledge the limitations of my own perspective and views. I can only see things in the way that I see them. I'm limited in my limited Blakeness. Not that that's negative, just mine and mine alone. But to see how others see things, now that is deeply fascinating to me. There aren't many spaces in our society where a millennial, a baby boomer, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha can all be on the same committee together. You may feel like I forgot Gen X. These opportunities to learn more about and from my community are incredibly valuable to me on my spiritual journey. I have found incredible and deep lessons in how you all move through this space. Sometimes I'm moved by the wise words of a child when I'm reminded it's okay to scream out absolute silliness into a microphone during together time. I could probably use that practice on a spiritual level. Some of you have shared in a class or small group and introduced an entirely new way of thinking about something to me. Maybe too new sometimes, but still. And it's sacred that your specific personhood and experiences offer so much wisdom to all of us in community with you. I also know that because we are all so vastly unique, we can sometimes be completely alien to one another. Sometimes I make references that none of you get. Yeah, it makes me wonder how you could go your entire life without finding the same hyper-specific, barely available British reality TV show that I have. What are you doing with your time? But sometimes this alien nature can be borderline offensive, right? Sometimes the way people approach this space may be different than our own, and may leave room for us to grow and experience more. And that's okay. All parties have opportunities to respect and grow in response to these moments. Intergenerational connections that a congregation like UUCP offers is a challenging trial. I've seen so many different responses to this congregational challenge, and sadly, I do think most of them got it horribly wrong. A few did okay, but I don't know that I would consider any of them a total success. I feel like this issue is understandable, though. How can there be a universal answer for congregations when congregations are not universal? The tapestry of people here is so unique that only we can figure out the best ways to be in community together. I can't wait to see what new spiritual practice I may be introduced to, or new book recommendation, or reference I don't get, but I will laugh at and quickly look it up on my phone and be discreet, that all of our conversations will have for me when I'm here with you in community. Igor, can you help us embody that spirit with a rousing version of This Little Light of Mine? Igor, can you help us embody that spirit with a rousing version of This Little Light of Mine?
By the time I was 6 years old, I was leading congregational singing down in my native Alabama, and I learned to sing before I could read. So I know this is a stretch for Unitarians, but pretend that you're not skilled at reading, and you're just listening to the singer and joining in. And stand as you're able. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine all over Paradise Valley, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over Paradise Valley, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over Paradise Valley, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'll shine all over Arizona, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over Arizona, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over Arizona, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh no, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Now shine all over Arizona, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over Arizona. Oh, shine all over Arizona. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, now shine all over the universe, I'm gonna let it shine. shine, oh, shine all over the universe. Oh, shine all over the universe. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Last time, this little light of mine, oh, now I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let my little light shine. Give yourself a round of applause.
Woo-hoo! You all are amazing. Those are the first few words of my sermon. It goes on, but I just want to start with, you all are amazing. You all are amazing at letting me know what messages resonate with you and why. I actually really love hearing about your understandings of what I say in my sermons, whether I mean them that way or not. But sometimes it goes the other way around as well. While it is true that preachers often preach messages that they themselves want to hear, sometimes a sermon stays with me much longer than I anticipated. The one that is still sticking with me is the service during our Healthy Sexuality series about how different generations perceive sex based on how old they were when the AIDS crisis hit. It stayed with me for a long time, and it had a whole bunch of octopus tentacles that extended far beyond where I expected. One of you came up after the service and said the same service could be true based on how old we were when birth control became legal. And another one said the same could be true based on when Roe v. Wade was established, and then when it wasn't again. And it also made me realize that our sense of our place for our body in the world also affects our sense of who we are in other ways. I could do a similar sermon series on how different generations see therapy. It's very common now for people to get together and discuss what they learned at therapy sessions that week. And that could have been inconceivable 50 years ago. Or how we think about boundaries with our families has changed radically. Or how we see issues around race. I think the Boomer and the Gen X generation, yes, Blake, we exist. We considered our ideas around race from the Civil Rights era. And many of the younger generations were shaped by the Black Lives Matter era. There's lots of messiness in all of these things, of course, because we are all the ages that we've ever been. But my point in all of this is that this culture has seen incredible change in the lifespans of those who are in this congregation right now. In the last 100 years, and yes, we have congregants over 100 years, the world and how we perceive it has changed so much. Honestly, it's understandable if we are often overwhelmed with it and just want to throw up our hands. We are doing a lot of radical things here at UUCP and other houses of worship as well. Outside of our families, houses of worship are one of the few remaining spaces that are radically multi-intergenerational. Not all houses of worship are, of course. Many churches, synagogues, and mosques are really struggling to attract families and children as more and more of the parents have been harmed by their religion or are not willing to tolerate the cynicism that they've experienced or the lack of welcome that they experience when they walk through the door. But that is not the issue at UUCP. We have had an active and enthusiastic group of parents and children. It has always been this way at UUCP. You can hear about how the youth actually built our first building along with their adults and the roles that they've had here. I truly hope that will always be true of this congregation. It is a sign of a thriving congregation. Another way that generations are shifting is how we think about our children's development and the spaces where they belong. I grew up with some remnants of the children should be seen and not heard. I knew that in many places I was required to be quiet and in my place. And if I didn't, there were consequences. Now, consequences varied by family, but there were consequences. I certainly didn't think much of it at the time, but it is clear now that the message was that there were some places that were appropriate for me: school, a playground, youth sports, and all other places were designed for grown-ups, and I needed to make myself conform, fit in a box, and most of all, behave, even if those expectations were totally unreasonable for the age that I was. If I didn't, the consequence was punishment or scolding or reprimanding or something of some kind. In church, that meant that the children could stay in the service for a little bit, but they needed to be swept out and put in another place. For my childhood, that was the dungy basement. Now, I didn't hate where my Sunday school was, but it was very clear that the message was that I didn't belong in worship. That was an adult-only space. And when I was past my teenage years, I didn't know how to be in worship. I had never been except for Christmas and Easter. This format is still alive and well in many congregations, including many Unitarian Universalist congregations. But it is shifting in many progressive congregations, and especially UU congregations, including UUCP. This has not been without issue, especially around noise. And perhaps this is something I needed to address publicly more than rather than working behind the scenes as I have. It's been something that many of you have told me you've struggled with, and I haven't talked about it out loud enough. The truth is that we've tried to do a number of things to improve the noise. Some of them have worked. Some of them work for a period of time until they don't, and some just don't work. This will be a big focus for the next director of children's ministry to find that balance, but it is honestly something that is a focus for all of us to figure out and to wrestle with. I have heard the concerns. I agree that we shouldn't have full voice talking in the sanctuary, and we are still working on how to be inclusionary without having it be noisy. Part of the focus of this sermon is to explain why we are doing what we are doing, why it is important for all of us, and why it is so darn challenging. The truth is UUCP is doing amazing things in being radically inclusive for all ages and living into that part of our mission that is said explicitly. This does not mean just children, although children and youth are often the ones that are excluded. But I also want to name that seniors in our society are very often cut out of events and activities because of accessibility. It can be very hard to age knowing that you are less and less welcome and able to in fewer and fewer spaces. It is not lost upon me that our children and our seniors share a lot of similarities. But let's look at what radically inclusive looks like at UUCP. I want to name first that there's a big place that we still have yet to work, and that's to create a ramp at our front door. I am still hoping that we can be in a financial place and do a capital campaign and see that completed in the next few years. You all just in the last few months did an incredible job of modifying clapping to help be more sensitive for those with hearing aids or neurodiversity and the stunningness of the clapping in this space. I've heard from a lot of you that you appreciate that difference. We work with our pastoral care team and others to try to keep our seniors who don't come to worship anymore included in innovative ways. I do think that there's always opportunity to do better there too. Benji has done an incredible job at making our music as inclusive and accessible as possible. In many places, if you don't read music, you will miss out on great music. Benji has made our music accessible and fun for all ages. I am proud to say that this is one of the most radically inclusive spaces for neurodivergent people that I have ever seen. We have tools for fidgeting, variations in seating, we have accommodated teams and committees to be more inclusive, and we had a team several years ago focused just on neurodiversity as an inclusion initiative. And I'm thrilled to say that we are now working on getting hymns translated into Braille, now that there is a need for it. We are thankful for new opportunities of ways to learn how to do things. So let me talk about radical inclusion with our children and our youth in particular, and some of the things that we should celebrate. This congregation has not just one, but 2 seats on our board for youth. It happened before I was here. Does anyone remember when we added that to the bylaws? Looking at you, Glenn. It's been decades, right? Long time ago. It is in our bylaws that we want youth representation on our board of trustees. Y'all, that doesn't happen in a lot of places. And it is not just a ceremonial position. They are 2 voting positions, and all of the boards that I've been on have not just included them, but we turn to them asking for their perspective. The biggest challenge is overcoming, honestly, is for the youth to really believe that we want their opinions in that space. But when they do share, it is really insightful and incredibly helpful. We have always had youth as worship associates. That means we trust our youth with our most sacred space, our pulpit, and we are enlightened by them when they are up here. We have youth on many of our teams and committees. Right now, we have a youth, Isabel Davey, on the hiring committee for our next children's ministry director, because to hire a director of children's ministry without a youth on it makes 0 sense, right? And yes, we have had children and youth in our worship service for the whole service. This is different than some congregations, and it's not without its challenges. The main one is noise. There was a change. This was a change. So some of you are like, when did this happen? When did we start doing this? Many people forget that before the pandemic, we had 2 services. And during one of them, we had children's ministry. And then the other one, the parents and teachers who were leading the classes could still come to worship. When we came back from the pandemic and our families were hit very hard by that pandemic time, we moved children's ministry to noon, and we had everyone in the service. I am sad that this has created divisions in the congregation. I am hoping that understanding is one way that will help contribute to healing that division, but it is also going to take grace, collaboration, reflection, and conversation to make that happen. I want to share the philosophy on how we think about our youth that existed before I came here, but that I have joyfully embraced. One is that children and youth are full theologians. They are not empty slates. They are already theologians who know what faith is, they know what they believe, and sometimes their words are more profound than what we could ever say. They are not empty slates that we need to fill with stories like Noah's Ark, because I'm really not sure what that taught me anyway, except that like you need 2 animals to procreate and God can destroy us all with a flood, but they're not empty slates. Do you understand that concept? 2 is all people belong in all spaces. There are not demarcations for where we say this person only belongs here, and we're not demarking whether it is by age or ability. And that people, and if it goes for children, it's also with their parents, get to choose where do their bodies make the most sense to be in what space. We have multiple spaces here. We can be online, we can be on Zoom, it's streamed in the Johnson room, it's out in the lobby, it's in the comfort corner. You get to choose where your body feels most appropriate. 3 is children and youth won't learn how to be in worship without being in worship. And I want to elucidate on that in a little bit in a moment and give you an example of that. And that is a main reason why we are losing our youth after they age out of high school, because they've never had that connection with worship, and what church was in a class is now gone. 4 is multi-generational spaces are important to everyone. We all benefit from that learning and whatever online British show Blake is watching. And we want everyone to feel radically welcomed here. Children, adults, seniors, people with disabilities, everyone. And it is hard to make that happen. It is hard to have everyone feel like their needs are met when they all have so many different needs. Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about a member of our congregation, and there's not just one, but I want to tell you a story of what it looks like when someone is involved in UUCP, where it's been inclusive like this, and what happens when they're an adult. Colin Lifshitz just turned 20 years old. He is now in his 2nd year of college. He is playing in the Division III finals tonight on ESPN at 6 o'clock, if anyone wants to watch it. But in his middle school years, UUCP changed the youth time to be after worship in order to encourage teens to stay in worship, to value worship, and to be part of it. That was an intentional change. He was the first generation to be part of it. He was part of leading worship services several times a year, and he just went to college in Wisconsin, and the first thing he did was to seek out the UU congregation in town. Now, it's a tiny fellowship. It's got about 60 members. It doesn't have a minister. And guess who is on the board of the UU Fellowship of River Falls, Wisconsin right now? Yes, our beloved 20-year-old. He believes that he belongs in that space, he can have ownership in that space, leadership in that space, and he also knows how to do it. That is what we're going for, people. That is what the goal is. Many of these philosophies that I just went through were already in place before I got here, and in fact, it was one of the many reasons I was attracted to come to UUCP as a minister. Some have grown, some are more noticeable because we now have one service instead of 2. And I want to name that I am the minister for this entire congregation. I am trying to figure out the needs of every single age group here and live into that mission of being radically inclusive. That can sometimes be challenging, but usually it's amazing. And I want to be clear, I feel like I say this several times a year, I am not queen of this congregation, all right? We are the creators of this congregation. I want to know where the congregation is and move us all forward collectively. I try to have us live as fully into our mission as possible to be a spiritual community for our time, theologically diverse, radically inclusive, and justice-centered. So in a way, this sermon is me reaching out to all of you and saying, is this who we are? Is this who we want to be? Are we heading in the right direction? We are a congregation that believes in shared ministry. Help me lead where we all want to go, if indeed we can agree. Especially with a new director coming on, this is an important time to ask this important question. And if the answer is yes, then please be part of the solution. This is challenging work, and to just stand back and say, okay, we'll let some people figure it out, I hope they figure it out the way that I want them to, is not really as helpful as, I hear this is really challenging. This sounds like something that the congregation is working really hard at. It sounds like the congregation might need some help here. I don't know what I can contribute, but I would be glad to, and I want to be part of the solution because I agree with this philosophy, and it's how I want the world to be. If you are excited about that, please join us. So perhaps the question is not whether this is messy or hard. It is. But whether we are willing to keep choosing one another anyway. In a world that sorts, separates, and silences, we are practicing something quietly radical. Staying together across ages, differences, noise levels, and change. We are teaching one another how to belong, how to listen, and how to grow, side by side, generation by generation. And if that is the work of being a spiritual community for our time, then I am so grateful to be doing this work with all of you. So might it be here, so might it be in our world. Amen. We close with a favorite song of commitment to each other, today specifically dedicated to all of us in all of our ages. Please rise in body and spirit.
Please stay standing. And a big thank you to Carolyn and Igor again for jumping in today. That was amazing. Thank you guys. After service ends, noon activities, including our children's ministry programming.
Actually, there's no children's ministry today.
There's no children's ministry today. So if there is anything, it will be listed on the screen. Please join us for coffee hour with food and refreshments. Yes. In our community space just across the patio. Reverend Christine, please close out our service.
I just want to, it's ironic, I know, that we don't have children's ministry today, and Carrie is leading it, and it's the first week, and Cullen's in the Division III finals. All right, so we'll get it going back again next week. Unitarian Universalist Wayne Arneson says, "Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are so very high. Take courage, for deep down, there is not another truth. You are not alone. Go in peace. Go in love."
Coffee's that way. Anybody new doesn't know, pick up someone you're next to.